Hi, welcome to Coral Roots. I'm Adrian. This is my husband Eddie, a reluctant participant in the channel. Meet our golden retriever, Carol. Claire joins us as a special guest from time to time. And we live in Cape Coral, Florida. This channel is devoted to all things living that summer 365 lifestyle. Follow along as I serial start new projects and learn from YouTube University. Hello, welcome back to Coral Roots. I'm Adrian. I am standing underneath the jasmine, which is in full bloom and it smells amazing. Welcome to the garden tour for April 2026. It is almost the end of April, but it still counts as an April garden tour. So many things have grown immensely in the last month, and let's get started. Pretty pumped about it. I don't know if you can see it, but there are butterflies butterflying all around. So exciting. So exciting. Our garden tour starts with literally as I started talking, the dog next door started barking. Starts with the completion of the driveway. First time on a garden tour that it has been done. A project 2 years in the making, and I could not be more ecstatic with the results. Let's do a walk through. I'm out on the street, so thankfully we do not live in a super busy area. Out front here you can see the 3 layers of hedges that I've explained before are native plants. But if you're new here, that front one is a yellow creeper. Behind it is lizard tail. Behind that is a cocoa plum. It makes an edible fruit. So if you need to, you can have some little cocoa plums. On that archway over that is also a native vine called a Carolina jessamine. Oh, did you see the butterflies? Oh, I can't believe it. They appeared like I just designed them that way. That is out of bloom right now, but creates a very beautiful archway into the garden. Let's actually enter the garden this way today. So you come through under the archway. It's quite magical. Let's pause for that beautiful butterfly. Up into the center, which eventually will be pavers. For now, it is just volunteer rudbeckia. That's that little yellow flower there, as well as weeds. To my right and left are a David Austin rose called a Vanessa Bell. The one right here is not currently hooked up to drip, and we are in drought season. And the one to the right is currently hooked up to drip and is blooming and very tall. I'm very excited about it. It's super pretty. So here is a just starting to open up rose bloom. Not open even at all. Just opened. And then a couple of days old. So it starts out in a much more, I guess, buttery yellow and fades to kind of a creamy white, I guess one could call it. But it has grown a lot. So here is the hedge from behind. We're not allowed to have a front yard fence in Cape Coral. I'm in Cape Coral, Florida, zone 10B. So I'm using this cocoa plum as a privacy hedge and then pruning it kind of little by little. I think this is probably about as tall as I want to let it get, but we'll see. Again, this right here is the other Vanessa Bell. It is not currently, I guess there's actually little flowers on it. I have a feeling this one next month will be blooming because we will have started getting rain. Sorry, my neighbors, right as I started filming, decided that it would be a great idea to start doing outdoor projects. And as I started the video, the jasmine is in full bloom and it smells amazing. The other thing to note is that last month I thought for sure my muscadine grapevines were dead. They have just recently flushed out, so I'm going to need to feed some of these back through, and we might have grapes this year. Underneath here is a desert rose that is also doing really well. And then coming out to the left of the circle, there is a walking pathway. These are a recent addition. These actually came from our other property. We have an investment property on the east coast of Florida, and our daughter brought these with. This was the most that her car could hold without bottoming out. So that is creating a much better image of the pathway that I discussed in the last video, the last tour. And then I've pulled some of these to the back, which we'll get to. So this pathway is basically like telling you, go ahead and go that direction. As long as we're facing this direction, we can see banana tree on the side of the house. Currently, we don't have any bananas, any banana bunches on it, but I'm sure that one should be popping up as we start to hit, like I say, rainy season and it's getting hotter. And then this is also coming into its own. So on the wall is a trellised jasmine vine. Jasmine does the sleep, creep, leap, and this year is its leap year. So this is the second season I've had it in, and it is also starting to bloom. It's in the shade a little bit more, so it's going to be slightly behind the archway behind me, but isn't it looking gorgeous? In front of that is a rose tree that came with us from Minnesota. And then in front of that are muhly grass, and that is all creating just a beautiful picture. To the right is an olive tree that I am training to stay fairly small, although it has gotten huge. The trunk on that is like 6 inches in diameter now. I put it in and it might have been a 1-inch diameter. So I don't think we're ever going to actually get olives. We don't get cold enough in Florida for it to have like the cold hours that I think it requires. But it's still a really pretty tree. It's going to give really nice shade. And eventually I'm going to limit up a little bit more so you can get under it. But for now, doesn't it just look gorgeous? And behind that is a bird of paradise that was here when we moved in. It's only bloomed, I think, maybe one time. I've tried to take it out, but it's like, I guess it just wants to be there. And then as I spin around, you can see the jasmine arch and grapevine from this direction. And then in front of it, there's another butterfly. That big, beautiful plant there is again, the brown-eyed Susan, the Rudbeckia that self-seeded itself. And then in front of that is a salvia that is looking pretty sad. It needs a little bit, I think maybe I have drip to it, but it doesn't look very happy. A pineapple, which doesn't currently have any pineapples on it. Some canna that I use as more ground cover, kind of chop and drop. The white plants are pentas. Those are a perennial for us. So they'll basically bloom. I think they're kind of reaching the end of their bloom time, and then I might need to cut them back, and then I'll plant something in here, but they'll come back once we're not quite as hot. Working our way over, you see more pineapples. So the pineapples that you see are actually pineapple heads from organic pineapples I bought at the grocery store. Pop the top off, put them in the ground. 18 months later, they grow pineapples. These are like the great-grandchildren of my first pineapples. Behind that is another desert rose. These are both, and actually all the desert roses in my garden are from when my dad was alive. Oh, thank you, helicopter. Or airplane, I mean. And then moving on, the purple flowers, I planted that Angelonia months ago. It looked like it was dead and when it was cold, and it has come back. Again, the leaves here, that grapevine that I tore it all down from this trellis archway because I thought it was dead. Nope, coming back. So I'm going to start to feed that back through kind of like in a zigzag pattern. That's a volunteer nasturtium. I planted nasturtium the first year I was here, and it just comes back every year. And then more of the red salvia. Working our way this direction on the, I guess if you're coming up from the street, the right-hand side of the circle. Oh, gosh, I just think it's so pretty. To the front here are some red pentas. Same thing. They're kind of working their way out. And then I planted some marigolds that I got at the store on clearance. I do need to come in, so all this edging that you see that's kind of like half leaped in is from the side of the house and from the backyard that I'm repurposing to create the garden border, so that's why it's kind of janky. When we had our seawall repaired, it got destroyed, and I have I'll show you the plans over there anyway. So repurposing it, and it kind of matches with the more cottagey style. And then coming over here, the Schefflera is working as my cute little mini hedges for this walking path, coming this direction. And then this is an amazing surprise. Whoops, sorry, amazing surprise. And a few videos ago, you saw me pruning this back, and I had zero hopes at all that the thing was going to produce lemons. Actually, in April, I said this plant, or this tree, has never produced a lemon for me. And then it was like, hold my beer. I have lemons all over me now because basically I was threatened with a chop off down. So we're gonna have lemons maybe. How exciting is that? I do think that doing that pruning really created some nice airflow on it and made it actually a really pretty shaped tree. There's even more lemon flowers arriving. If you're curious, the caterpillar that was in here, I don't see him anymore. So I don't know if a bird ended up finding him, but I thought it was gonna make a chrysalis, and I literally just, he's not there anymore. I saved him when I did my pruning, but since then he has disappeared. Coming to the front of the house, this gloriously beautiful purple tea plant is also a Florida native. It is a pollinator magnet. It is covered in bees, and the bees are the most friendly, happy bees you've ever seen because they are fat and happy. And then I also do take this and trim it back, I think probably twice a year. It'll get like tall spouts off the top of it, and then I trim it back to make it look like this cute little miniature tree form, if you can see under there. Under here is Sunshine Mimosa. This is a Florida native ground cover. I actually need to come in and do a little trimming. There's some weeds growing in it, but also beautiful. My largest of all the desert roses right here. It is looking fabulous. And then behind that is a very non-native but gorgeous bougainvillea. I need to train it and put up a trellising system. I want it to go all across the front of the house. So right now it's just doing its thing, chicken wing. Eventually I will have it tied up. And then let's go over here so we can come down the beautiful, oh, these have not moved since last month. I feel like some people think that it's like an invisible object, if you know what I mean, without calling out names. Oh, I think the next thing I want to do is continue this and paint it on this ugly tile. Future project. I don't know that I'm going to get to it anytime soon. But if you're here and we sit under here, the sun rises on this side of the house and sets behind me. So in the evening, this is a nice shady spot that we come out. Actually pulled the little janky chair out from here so it would look prettier, but it's nice. And you can sit and watch and see the beautiful garden view from this side. And also the completed driveway. Right here you can see that I'm loving these plantings and I just want to put more and more in. The red are a red salvia. The blue violet, that is a different version of a salvia. The yellow again with the volunteer plants. The green is actually technically a weed, but it's a, what's it called? It's like a purslane. So I think it's pretty and it is drought tolerant. So I'm actually allowing that to grow. And then we have one finishing rose. Can you see it? Yeah, you can. This and that one over there are supposed to be the same rose. Tropicana, maybe? I'll put it up on the screen. But that rose had a different bloom than that one. A couple of weeks ago it bloomed and I didn't catch it on camera. So that's weird. And then the two up front here, which is the other one, again, put it up on screen. These are not bouncing back, so I'm going to have to come out here and plant some stuff because right now, although I did put in mulch since the last video, we ran out, as you can see over there, but that makes it look much nicer. But I really want to continue this whole section and bring more flowers and plants in here. Future video, future plantings coming in here. And then this is a no-named rose, also needs to be dead-headed, not looking its prettiest today, but it was looking gorgeous earlier in the week. That I picked up and it didn't have a variety on it. So let's take a look from this direction. Actually, this is one of my favorite angles. And then coming down over here, we'll go to the side / backyard. This is a work in progress. Right here is my dry pour concrete sidewalk. I actually need to do a follow-up video because people have asked for what it looks like. I need to put the gutter on. Eddie takes the gutter off whenever he does the garbage cans and then never puts it back and drives me crazy. Anyway, so I have 3 slabs here. That one over there is the best, second, third, raspberry turd. But it's still gorgeous. I like it. It works out good. And then we've got some podocarpus here that are going to grow in and create a fence. Again, this is this and the other side. Very much a work in progress. Since last video, the banana, I had a little cage over it so the long guys wouldn't kill it, and it outgrew its cage, so yay banana. Eventually this is where I'm going to be putting in a sidewalk. And then back here, the garden is actually, I would say we reached its tomato peak a week and a half ago. So we're going to start to see how it's browning. It's because we're starting to get too hot in Florida for tomatoes. However, this thing is covered, or is and was covered in tomatoes. I got to come back out again and harvest them. Whoa, poor me. She pretty. So if you come in here, I cannot believe these snapdragons are still going strong. Peppers, some more peppers, more tomatoes, sage. You can see here, definitely after I harvested it, coming back from vacation, I know I bent and broke some of the branches, and that's evident by the branches that are kind of splitting and dying off. So I might come in actually and cut these bottom ones all off and see if it helps to reinvigorate the middle of the plant. Future plant that I got on clearance. Same thing with this tomato plant. Weirdly enough, these are supposed to be the same, and they are clearly different leaves. So I don't know the varieties. Roma tomato, different leaves. My dahlia also is not looking so great, and it's supposed to be able to go into the hotter heat of summer. Here we've got another pepper. In front is rosemary. I just chopped a bunch of that for making tomato. I made a recipe last night. Plus drying some. Behind that, carrots, which I do need to come in and harvest. This snapdragon is looking a lot more peaked. This side of the garden gets sun earlier than the other side. So this side always looks more peaked by this point of day because it's already had several more hours of sun. That's the the broccoli that decided to germinate at the weirdest season. I let it go, but it's definitely not going to love life anymore. I think that's a zinnia, or it might actually be, yeah, I think that's a zinnia coming back. More carrots. And then over here is the Queen's Wreath vine that we planted a couple of weeks ago. Again, I have it tied up with twine. I haven't fixed it yet. It's fine. I'll create a better system for that. That's coming up in the next couple of weeks because I do need to get all of the wire up so I can finally get my cafe lights up. But she's looking all right. She's got leaves on it. Powder puff tree, gorgeous. I am really loving that we put these rings around the trees. I think that it's A, much more pretty, B, it's helping the trees, and C, making it easier for the lawn guys to come out and do their job. Pomegranate, it did drop its little bloom that I was excited that maybe it was going to hold on to that one, but there are 2 more. So yay you. So we've had 2 blooms, 2 that have fallen, and now we got a couple more. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll do something, maybe not. The hibiscus looking gorgeous. These are really staying shorter than I thought. I was envisioning that these would get like big, and then when you walk down the sidewalk, that they would go over your head with these gorgeous blooms, but I don't think that's going to happen. But look how pretty they are. More desert roses. And more muhly grass, which my plan on the muhly grass is to actually bring the muhly grass get more to put in front of the patio here. Just haven't got that far. But yes, gorgeous. It's the most pretty coral color. And then the plumeria is in bloom. This one here was a dumpster dive, or actually yard waste day that I saved and then plucked them and put them right in the ground. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of these that are the the garbage day. And then this is one that I actually purchased. These ones are reaching the end of their bloom today, but still beautiful. And then we'll have some more and some more. You can see one starting there. And then the third of those plants that I saved. Jopotacaba is looking pretty decent. I don't have any irrigation over here, so basically every 2 or 3 days I come out and slow drip a hose for about 20 minutes on each of the trees as they get established. Once they're established, then it's every man for themselves and they'll have to figure it out. But right now they're babies, so we take care of them. The Barbados cherry, still haven't staked it up. It needs some concrete block around it, but it's looking good. And then down there is the other Queen's Wreath that I'm going to try to grow as a tree. That one's looking all right as well. And on the agenda still, I have not done anything back here by the canal, except these are Fakahatchee grass that actually my neighbor gave me the first, not my neighbor, the guy down the street, gave them to me the first year we moved in. They're so-so, and this green fern is some sort of a vine weed that I cut back every year, and it just wants to come back bigger and bigger. Our ponytail palms, fairly not common palm here in Cape Coral. You see them a lot like as houseplants, but I'm pretty sure these were put in with the house. All right, and then let's go up to the lanai. Don't look at the pool. Eddie's doing the pool this afternoon. So it's got a little bit of green in it. Pool guy has to come out and do his job. But look at how pretty the hanging baskets are. I have not really ever had hanging baskets because I usually forget to keep things that are not in the ground alive. But these are looking amazing. This one brought back from the brink of death. This is the Proven Winners Supertunia Vista Bubblegum, Super Jazz, and the white one that I can't think of the name of right now. Also looking gorgeous. Although I have to tell you, petunias don't have a beautiful smell. So it might be their one downfall, but pretty. And then this is another petunia, which I think I actually should cut back. It's getting really long and leggy, and I think it'll help make it look prettier, but still. There's Eddie working. Isn't it just gorgeous? I know. I am pumped. And then the green stock actually still has lettuces in it that I'm just letting go for the moment. Lettuce, so we got basil at the bottom, lettuces that are, look at that one bolting. I'm trying to save seeds for my first time ever, so I'm letting that one go. And this is also going to seed. That alyssum's going to seed. And then whatever these flowers were, which I cannot remember what they were called, they never really came back beautifully. Like I have a couple of them that come back, but so I'm going to need to repot this at some point, and I don't know what I'm putting in there quite yet. Behind the pile of patio things and pool things is my fiddle leaf, which he's looking pretty good. I have almost killed that thing, had to cut it all the way back, and yay, it is doing much better. And yeah, this is a lemon tree. It blooms, and then it's never, I guess it had a lemon on it once, but it's looking pretty good too, actually. Just no lemons on it. And then from this direction, I feel like I'm wilting since the beginning, walking around, like literally just, it's Florida. It's no joke. I'm gonna need to put my hair up, but anyway. Thanks for watching this April garden tour. Pretty excited about the progress we've made. It's starting to really come together and look so beautiful. Thanks for watching. Bye.